Good morning, everyone. Just thought I would come back with you again this week, and we are going to continue on in my brand new book with chapter 2. But what I thought I would do for those of you who are maybe considering, do I want to read this book? Because number one, it's a big book. This is book 1, 735 pages. But let me show you some pictures from the chapters that I have already read. Okay. First one, let me show you. This is the world map that you will find in book 1. This is Elyndor, the Garden of Everlight, and in Elyndor there are 4 realms within this geographical place in my book. So you have Rocky Mire, which is the realm of the trolls. You have Glimmerwood, which is the realm of the satyrs. And of course, the tree in the middle, that is the tree of Everlight. Then you have Mountain Vale, which is the realm of the dragons. And then you have Hollow Peak, which is the realm of the unicorns. And then, of course, book 1 doesn't really give any kind of a real wide panoramic view of the Shadowlands. It is talked about quite a bit, but not until book 2 is when the reader is going to get introduced into the Shadowlands, what it is, more about why it was created, and all of that. So what I did the first week is I gave basically just kind of like the heart of the story. I read the foreword that's in the beginning of the book, and that basically is just my heart behind the story. Just a really quick recap. I wrote this about 34 years ago when my oldest son was 3 years old. And back then it was supposed to just be a small like bedtime story. And I wrote the original by hand. And the more I sat down and started writing it, it ended up filling 4 spiral notebooks handwritten. And so it turned into this to like this giant saga. And of course I didn't really do much with it. As I describe in the book, my sister, she helped me with that. And then years and years later, she did publish the version that she helped write on Amazon, and it still is on Amazon today. And of course, I go over all of that in book 1. So, if you're interested more in the full detail of how the story came about, you can get the print book, or you can read the ebook version. And of course, the ebook version is going to have all of the photos in color because of the size of the print edition. I couldn't afford to have color photos, and I certainly couldn't pass on that expense to viewers and readers. So if you would choose to get the print version, the photos will be there, but they're going to be in black and white. Okay, now the one thing that I forgot to do for the prologue, when I read the prologue, is I forgot to show you the images. And so let me show you the image that you will find in both Kindle and the print version. This is the opening image that you will find for the prologue. And then for the end of the prologue, you will see this picture here. There, it makes it a little bit bigger. Okay. And then last week we read, or I read actually, chapter 1. And so here is the opening image for chapter 1. And then here is the closing image for chapter 1. And then that's where we cut off with last week's video. And I've also made a dedicated playlist for my book. And I'll probably just keep all of the books just in that one playlist. And honestly, I don't know how many books it's going to take for me to tell the complete story. I can happily let you guys know yesterday I finished the very last chapter in book 2. Book 1 has 31 chapters, and book 2 ended up having 26 chapters, and it's going to be about 100 pages less than book 1. It's still going to end up being a thick book for book 2. And my hope is that I will have book 2 out and available sometime after the 1st of February. I still have to do all of the back pages and then, make sure that, everything is correct and that there's no errors when, I go upload everything onto to Amazon. So let me, okay, so here is the opening image for chapter 2, which I want to read for you guys today. So let me just go here to my document, and we will get started. The KJV verse for chapter 2 is from Isaiah 14:12. How thou art fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. Thou art cut down to the ground. Oh, my cat's my cat's playing. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so I'm just going to try to ignore her. Okay, now I can't see if anybody is coming in or leaving a live chat. Feel free to put a live chat in if you want. When I'm done reading the chapter, then I'll be back to the other screen, and I can see you guys. Okay. Chapter 2, the corruption of the trolls. The song descended into the deep, and shadows learned its tune. The melody that shaped the stars now trembled out of tune from the songs of the first dawn. And I got to zoom this in. Before the shadows rolls, hang on, let me let her out. Hang on. Okay. Before the shadows rose, the trolls dwelt in peace beneath the mountains of Elyndor. They were the children of stone and flame, creatures molded from the earth's molten heart and the steadfastness of rock. Their task was sacred: to keep the deep places steady, to guide the hidden rivers, to shape the caverns where the song's echoes lingered. When their hammers struck the walls of the deep, the mountains sang in answer. When dragons descended to trade wisdom or laughter, the trolls welcomed them with warmth and strength. For a time, there was no greed, no envy, no death. Only the quiet harmony of duty and delight. Though they had never seen Yeshariel nor heard his name, they felt his breath in the fires they tended and the rhythm of the earth beneath their feet. Let me get a drink. My voice is really, really dry today. Then, through the molten dark, a tremor began to stir. It was faint at first, a pulse beneath the rivers of fire, a voice without words that moved through dreams. The trolls could not name it, but it called to them with promises both wondrous and familiar. That whisper was Drummond. Once before the first mountain rose or dragon took wing, Drummond had stood among the cherubim of Yeshurael's court. His voice had glowed with the morning, his wings with the hues of dawn. But deceit had entered his heart, and he had sought not to serve the light, but to possess it. Cast from the radiant heights, he fell into the deep, his beauty consumed by flame until only ruin remained. Where feathers had once shone, scales of blackened clay now clung. His face, stretched and monstrous, bore no trace of the glory it had known. Bound not by chains, but by decree, Drummond's power was limited to the shadowed depths. Yet even there his voice retained a fragment of its former grace, enough to tempt those who listened. You are strength itself, he murmured through the stone. You uphold the world, yet live beneath it. Should not the foundation rule what stands upon it? Some trolls turned aside uneasy. Others lingered, entranced by the sound that seemed to know their very hearts. The whisper grew until it filled the caverns, soft as breath, sweet as sorrow. And from that day, their peace began to crack. From the molten chasms beyond sight, other voices answered Drummond's call, echoes of beings once radiant. They were the imps, the fallen watchers, cherubim, seraphim, and archangels who had followed him into ruin. Where once they blazed with celestial fire, now their light smoldered in twisted forms, serpentine wings of ash, faces that shifted like smoke, eyes that burned without warmth. Among them were ranks and orders. Arch-imps, draped in black flame, commanding legions. Watcher imps, whose hollow eyes pierced every shadow. Seraph imps, who bore tongues of fire that seared but no longer purified. Cherub imps, whose fourfold faces had become masks of anguish. Under Drummond's rule, they spread like a plague through the lower realms, binding the peaceful races to servitude. First fell the trolls, who labored nearest the molten heart. Through flattery and fear, Drummond claimed them as his builders and smiths. Their songs were replaced with the clang of hammers striking in despair. Then the satyrs of Glimmerwood were ensnared. Their laughter turned to forced music to soothe their masters. Last came the unicorns of Hollow Peak, once radiant guides of the lost, now yoked to drag crystal burdens through the tunnels of fire. The imps became their taskmasters. Whips of burning light lashed at their backs. Songs of sorrow echoed through the halls once alive with joy. No dragon was ever captured. Their wings and fire made them untouchable, and so they became the last free guardians of the upper world. Centuries passed. The trolls labored in silence. The satyr's forest withered, and the unicorn's horns dimmed. Blood first fell upon Elyndor's soil, and death, unknown since creation, took its throne. Drummond's hatred grew with every hammer strike that rang above his realm. He envied the dragons whose songs still reached the stars, whose fire could destroy him. To conquer them, he sought to become one of them. Deep in the caverns, he brewed a dark potion, using molten stone, ash, and the essence of sun-kissed blossoms that grew only beneath the light of the song. The formula consumed those who gathered its ingredients. Trolls, unicorns, and satyrs alike were driven to the surface to harvest the sacred flowers that bloomed in the shadow of the upper realms. Few returned. Those who did came back, scarred, burned by dragon fire, or broken by terror. Each failure filled Drummond with wrath. Still he continued, refining his brew through centuries of trial and pain. Yet even in his craft, he could not create, only twist what already was. The essence of life lay forever beyond his grasp, and every imitation he forged carried the scent of death. With each attempt, his form became more monstrous, his power more cunning. At last, he created a draught that shimmered like liquid obsidian. With it, he could don the likeness of a dragon, though only for a short while, before the corruption within tore it apart. Soon he vowed the disguise would hold forever. Then he would rise, walk among the dragons as one of them, and strike from within. When word came that strange singing had begun again in the upper realms, Druman's fury turned to cunning. If Yeshurael's light was returning, he needed knowledge before he struck. He thundered through his caverns, summoning the trolls who still trembled under his rule. Pog, Room, Draco. His roar made the walls quake and molten rocks spilled from the cracks. 3 figures stumbled forward, massive, dust-covered, eyes wide with dread. They were not cruel by nature, only afraid. Pog, the largest, bowed so low his brow struck the stone. Room muttered under his breath, earning a sharp elbow from Draco. Masters of clumsiness, Druman snarled. You 3 will go to the surface. There is singing again in the Valley of the Dragons. Find its source and return to me. Pog swallowed hard. Will not be seen, Lord Druman, I promise. See that you aren't, the ogre hissed. If the dragons find you, pray their fire ends you quickly. He waved them away and they scurried off, bickering as they went, their heavy footsteps echoing upward through winding tunnels that had not felt laughter in an age. Mind that tail of yours, Draco, Room grumbled. Wasn't my fault you're always in the way, came the reply. Quiet, Pog hissed. If he hears us. A distant growl rolled through the dark. All 3 froze. Then, hearts pounding, they pressed onward. The tunnel widened as they climbed. The air changed first, cooler, lighter, followed by a faint, pale glow that seemed to beckon them forward. For the first time in centuries, the trolls felt wind brush their faces. Pog pushed aside the last curtain of vines. Moonlight poured down like silver water. Room gasped. I didn't know the sky was this big. Draco stood frozen, awe softening even his sharp features. Come on, he muttered, though his voice trembled. We've got a job to do. They stepped onto the ridge and the song reached them. A melody drifted across the night, alive and shimmering, more beautiful than anything the trolls had ever heard. It carried peace, memory, and something they had forgotten they possessed. Hope. For a moment, they simply listened, breathless. Then Pog stiffened, pointing. A shadow moved across a far-off ridge, a dragon, wings folded, watching. Move, Draco hissed. They scrambled back into the cleft, hearts pounding until darkness swallowed them again. Even so, the song lingered in their chests like a warm ember. A spark Druman would one day come to fear. And far above, 3 trolls climbed toward the surface, unaware that the path they would walk would change the fate of every realm of Elyndor. Okay, and then here's the closing image of the 3 trolls, Pog, Room, and Draco, as they emerge from the abyss, and they have to go find out what is going on with the song and melody that is starting to form up in Elyndor. So, what I'll do next week is I'll do a recap, show you all the pictures, and then I'll show you the pictures for, I think it'll be chapter 3 next week. And my plan is to read through chapter 5 So after this week, we've got 3 more weeks together where I'll read 1 chapter a week, and then hopefully that will give you guys enough of a preview into the book. And my hope is that you'll want to read it, because I weave biblical parallels all through the book. And that's the one thing, as I've been writing this, and just praying to the Lord, help me write this, because it's like his story, just to make sure that everything is biblic, biblically correct, while within my imaginary world of Elyndor. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, here's book 1, big book, 735 pages. Book 2 got the final chapter written yesterday. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks I'll be able to let you guys know that it's up on Kindle. And if you belong to Kindle, I'm not sure exactly how it works, but you can if you belong to their ebook program, it's like a library. You can go read books, and I've noticed some people have done that with my book. And so take your time reading when you have time. But yeah, I'm not sure tomorrow if I'm going to be able to get into Romans 8. We've had some things happen here with our family, and so I apologize I wasn't able to get on last week. But my hope is that tomorrow I will be able to be back with you guys, and just have a time of fellowship as we get back into our Romans Bible study. So, all right, you guys take care. God bless, and we'll see you next week.